And let me show you the woman that I think, this is Resources Minister Madeleine King, could be the most sane and serious minister in the Albanese government. Maybe Michelle Rowland is up there too, I don't know. But Madeleine King, and she could be the lone person standing between us and the government's global warming fanatics and their green allies. Now, King has seemed actually quite serious about getting enough energy to power our homes and businesses. She's not one of these dreamers saying, let's quickly get rid of our coal and our gas and, something will turn up to power our electricity grid. It'll just come and save us magically. As Europe is now finding out, it won't. It hasn't been invented yet. So King has released now another 10 areas off our coast for oil and gas explorers, areas off the Northern Territory, Queensland, West Australia and Victoria. She says, continued exploration for oil and gas in Commonwealth waters is central to alleviating future domestic gas shortfalls. She's not dreaming of a totally green power grid 10 years from now. She knows that's not going to happen, but the Greens are furious. And so is climate independent Senator David Pocock. And these are senators the government needs in the Senate to pass its laws.
This is not a sensible decision. If we're going to listen to climate scientists, if we're going to listen to the International Energy Agency, they've been so clear that we cannot afford to open up new coal and gas projects.
Does this man not have eyes to see what's going on around the world? Joining me is National Senator Matt Canavan, a former Resources Minister. Matt Canavan, thanks for your time. Madeleine King releasing 47,000 square kilometres of offshore Australia for oil and gas exploration. Good move?
It is a good move, Andrew, and I think you're right. She's the hope of the side. She's playing a bit of a lonesome hand, though, in a cabinet with the likes of Chris Bowen, who's announced a carbon tax a couple of weeks ago, and then last week followed up with wanting to put a tax on people's cars as well. And then you've got Tanya Plibersek shutting down coal mines, delaying gas production onshore through her environmental approvals process. So, look, there is still concern here. And then you've got the Senate, the Green Senate, which they're in hock to, the Labor government in hock to. Now, one thing I would like to say about this, though, Andrew, is while it's a positive development, there's a concerning trend. 3 years ago in 2019, when I was Resources Minister, we released 64 areas offshore. That fell to 42 in 2020, 21 in 2021. Now, COVID hit the last couple of years, and then with decreased demand for gas and oil, and then this year only 10. Now, to some extent, these releases are a demand-driven system. The government goes out and asks for requests for people to proposal to explore different areas. And my concern here is that some investors may not be looking at Australia now because of the likes of Chris Bowen and Tanya Plibersek and Anthony Albanese, who are not sending welcoming signals to the world. And we don't just need this gas to be developed for our own country. Madeleine King also rightly in the media release today said we need this for the world. We need this to stand up to Vladimir Putin. The best thing we can do to help Ukraine and Europe would be to increase the production of energy in Australia and reduce Vladimir Putin's leverage.
Well, I'd go a little further even, actually there, Matt. The fact that the government is debating, it's talking, it's considering proposals, for an extra tax on profits from oil and gas, they're making too much money. This introduces some sovereign risk, which also must make them nervous. Now, the trouble is that, as you suggesting, the Albanese government does rely on the votes of the Greens and this David Pocock just showed to get its laws passed in the Senate. And Pocock, for one, I can't believe this guy. I don't know whether you've talked to him. He seems away with the fairies on global warming. You listen to him here, this is from today, saying that if we just got rid of gas and then, bought ourselves new electric cars, which cost the bomb, new electric kitchen appliances and all that kind of stuff, we would end up saving ourselves thousands of dollars. Serious?
We really have to get on with electrification of really gearing up in terms of renewables at the supply side, and then at households actually working with them to get off gas, to move to electric appliances, electric vehicles. Across Australia, the average household could be saving up to $5,000 a year if we get this transition right.
Matt Canavan, your response to that babble?
Yeah, I have spoken to David quite a bit. I was in the gym with him this morning, actually, but we were mainly talking about whether the Raiders or the Broncos would qualify for the finals this year. But I've still got hope for David, Andrew. I think he's a pretty sensible guy. I think he's been misguided a little bit in some of the suggestions that have been put in his head about energy policy. But the chickens are going to start coming home to roost for the world very soon. They're happening already in Europe, where you see energy prices reaching levels equivalent to $1,000 a barrel for oil. We had another fertiliser company in the UK announced that they were temporarily shutting because of those high energy prices, and obviously they're struggling to provide energy to their people over their coming winter. And that's happening here too. People are about to get their electricity bills later this year. They're going to go massively up in Australia because of our lack of energy. So I think once those real costs start coming in, the fairy tales that have convinced the likes of David Pocock to jump on this net zero ESG green train will soon be derailed. And I've got some hopes for the likes of David that he might see sense. So I'll keep talking to him, keep trying, because it would be better if the Senate did not go down that Labor Green path.
Mate, I can't see where you're getting your hope from. I mean, he's saying buy an electric car. What's that? $50,000, $60,000. Buy all this electric stuff for your house in your kitchen, so you don't use gas. And then we've got to do all the wiring and all this blah blah.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're going to save $5,000.
It's going to become clear. It's going to become clear very quickly, Andrew. It's not. So what we've got to do, what you do every night, is keep warning people about this, because there are two ways this is going to be resolved now, Andrew. One, the whole show will fall over. We'll go through not just the School of Hard Knocks, the University of Hard Knocks too. It'll be very painful, it'll be very tough. A lot of people lose their jobs, but eventually we'll see sense. The other way is that people like yourself, myself, just keep warning about this, using the examples of what's going on in Europe, and perhaps we don't go through that School of Hard Knocks as much as we might otherwise have to, and that will save a lot of jobs. And so I'm still an optimist that we may do that, because I think the Australian people are quite sensible. I think once the costs of this net zero obsession becomes apparent, there will be a massive turnaround in this country. It's building already, and it's going to come sooner than some people think.
Well, what an optimist you are. Matt Canavan, thank you so much indeed for your time.